Welcome to Lesson 2. In Lesson 1, we talked about the importance of the topic. We talked about how your topic should reflect the elements of critical thinking. You should be able to answer the following questions when you evaluate the topic that you have chosen and when you help evaluate other people's topics in this class. First, is the topic arguable? Does it reflect a definite opinion? Can it be supported by research? Does it raise a new and unique issue? Does it reflect depth? Is it narrowed and specific? Is it interesting and challenging? Is your idea reflected in a declarative statement and not just in a question? Does it avoid raising too many issues and following too many unnecessary paths? And finally, does it invite detailed research? These are the types of questions that you should use in evaluating your own topic, but also in evaluating other people's topics in the discussion board. In the discussion board, please critique the ideas of your upstream neighbor. Your upstream neighbor is the person just prior to you in the class roster, alphabetically by last name. When you critique your upstream neighbor's topic ideas, please remember to be substantive. I've seen comments that come down the pike that say, oh wow, you hit the nail right on the head, I don't have anything to add. Very short, very concise comments. These are not substantive comments. A substantive comment is a comment that explains why. If you like the topic idea, then tell the person, this is why I like it, here's what I think the strengths are, and if you have any suggestions, say, have you considered this? You can include 1 to 2 or 3 bullet points. If you don't like the topic ideas, then you can also explain why and suggest areas that your fellow student can use to strengthen their topic area. Remember, as you give your comments, to speak the truth in love. Too much truth is harsh and can come across very judgmental, but too much love is phony and may not give your fellow student the accurate type of feedback that he or she needs in order to improve their topic areas. So strike a balance between truth and love. Listen, understand, affirm, and suggest. Remember above all that you're there to critique the ideas and not the person. Let me talk now about how to find and use the best resources. Whatever resources you use must be current, credible, and unbiased. Do your research well, and you will find a plethora of resources available on the internet. At no other time in history can you find so much material available. However, you need to consider the credibility of the sources. In the textbook, he has a wonderful diagram, inverted triangle here, that talks about the credibility of different sources, starting from scholarly books as being most credible, biography, scholarly article, and all the way down at the bottom you have internet chat conversations, and I suppose we could add in that category Twitter, Facebook, and other types of resources. So when you use resources out there, the best way to approach it is to have your hierarchy in mind. Use some scholarly resources, but also use more informal resources as well. Use a balance. That is the key. Let me talk briefly about primary and secondary sources. Primary sources are directly connected to your topic in some way. They can be eyewitness accounts or they can be the results of a scientific experiment. On the other hand, secondary sources are works about the primary sources, and typically these are written by experts and other people in the field. For example, The Adventures of Marco Polo. Marco Polo wrote down directly his story of what it was like to be in China and all his travels and adventures. That's a primary source. However, I can go to the library right now and pick up books that are written by experts that talk about Marco Polo, talk about that time in history. Those are secondary sources. How do you go about finding current, credible, and reliable resources for your topic? Unfortunately, in this day and age, most people will go to Wikipedia, and whatever Wikipedia says is about the depth of their research. Please don't use that technique for this research writing class. Let's use the example of a topic on Parkinson's. Parkinson's disease is a cruel and horrible disease that afflicts millions of people. My own mother died of Parkinson's. If I'm doing a topic on Parkinson's, where might I start? I could start with the American Medical Association, with the Center for Disease Controls. There are many medical journals out there that are written by authoritative scientists. These are very good resources that I can and should cite in my paper. However, those are just data. I might want to include some personal interviews and personal testimonies. This is where I can turn to resources like blogs or find things on the internet of people giving their testimony. You might have someone in your family who can give a testimony on the impact of Parkinson's. I can also look at books like this. Michael J. Fox wrote this book about his struggle with Parkinson's, Lucky Man. This is a primary source, and it gives a face to his suffering with this disease. It's important to learn how to evaluate the sources that you use in your research paper, especially the sources that you find on the internet. So do the activities and the quizzes in the course. Some of the information, especially the Sheridan article that's put forth in the assignment, is somewhat dated, but the principles are the same. So learn how to apply the principles to evaluate your sources carefully. In summary, keep up with your assignments. Don't fall behind in your reading. Do the quizzes and activities. There are quizzes and activity in the course. I'm not a real great stickler for grading on those activities, but they are helpful for you to do. And look forward to the next lesson. In the next lesson, you need to begin working on your research proposal. And as always, if you have any questions or comments or whatsoever, please contact me. Good luck.